Back again. Had to grab another box. We are now just went through the A through H's. Now we are in Marvel I through S's. Oh man, a lot of these guys are going to need new bags and boards. I feel like my whole, what do you think? I think my whole Infinity War run. I've got 1 through 4 here. I think all these guys need new bags and boards. What do you think? Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think so. And then this one's pretty cool, but this bag is actually kind of ripped and torn here, as we can see. It's like little scratches all in through here. Don't want any of that. Independence Day #0. Very cool. Now back here we got a little. Those are always fun. Remember those? There we go. Independence Day, the comic book. Everything had a comic book back in the day. You know, it was like, it didn't matter if it was a TV show, it was a cartoon. I think Family Members probably had a comic book, you know. Full House probably had a comic book. Everything had a trading card, a bubblegum card, The Simpsons. It didn't matter, man, everything. The Noise. Everything was a video game. Everything was everything. Well, all right, there is no I in team, but there is an I in Iron Man, the most egocentrical superhero in the Marvel universe. Although he does have his moments where he puts his own ego aside and for the benefit of all mankind. Now this bag is, gosh, it's dirty. I don't know if you can see that on the cover there. There's like a residue, some kind of a stain. It still got the tag for the $8, which is not what I paid for this comic. This is probably an $8 tag from another comic. But yeah, it's just really, really bad. It's got the double tape. I hate the double tape on the bags there. But really cool issue. I mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of the superheroes that you would think like, oh, Robert probably knows a ton about that guy. Again, Iron Man is one of those that I didn't read a lot of growing up. Really cool costume, really cool idea, really cool powers. It's just, you know, pick up a few issues of this and I really quickly realized I can't really identify with the billionaire aspect of putting yourself into a suit and wanting to go out and save the world. Like, yeah, the Iron Man suit was really cool, but I think it was the Tony Stark stuff that I just really couldn't get behind. But, you know, with all the movies coming out and wanting to learn more about these characters and just finding out exactly how much of the comics is, you know, true to the movies and how much of the movies is, you know, being true to the comics, I go back and I read a lot of these issues, and this is a really fun one. It's got a lot of cool characters from the movies in there. Of course, we got Iron Man, Tony Stark, but then we've also got Happy Hogan. Now, Happy Hogan, as we know, is Tony Stark's limo driver, kind of a hefty guy. You know, we got some great moments with him at the end with his daughter and the whole cheeseburger scene. And then, of course, Happy kind of takes up the mantle, looking over Spider-Man and the Spider-Man films, kind of dating his aunt there for a little bit. But as we see here, Happy Hogan is actually very fit, and he's a retired boxer. Now, the retired boxer aspect is something they definitely touched on in the films with Iron Man 2, when he's in the ring kind of doing the whole practice thing and throwing the punches. So I think that was kind of a nod to Happy Hogan's past boxing life. But this issue is really interesting because we also have Pepper Potts. But Pepper Potts and Tony Stark are not together in this issue. In fact, Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan are together, which kind of makes me wonder if that's something that's not going to get kind of tackled in the later movies. You know, now that we've seen in Spider-Man Far From Home, that little summer fling between Aunt May and Happy Hogan is now over. So maybe in the future Marvel MCU, we'll see Happy and Pepper kind of getting together. And I think that would be really sweet if Happy did wind up taking care of Tony Stark's daughter. They had a really great, like I said, end scene moment there of the movie Endgame. And then I also believe in the comics, Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts wind up having some kids together as well. But really cool cover, really cool information, and really good condition. Another comic from like 1986. That's when my wife was born that year. But again, I just love this classic, simple, elegant comic book art that you just don't get anymore. All right, we're gonna jump right into the M's with this one here. This looks, oh, that's, well, I don't think I've ever read this comic book from 1983. Again, in fairly good condition. Some slight cornering here on the edges, the bottom right. But yeah, this guy needs a new bag. Just don't like these kind of stickers here. Very dull, kind of. Even the plastic here is kind of old and bent and torn. So getting up here, don't really like this. But again, don't think I've ever read this, and in fact, I might even go ahead and read this today real quick since I've got it out. But this is Magic. We probably know her best recently from the New Mutants film. She is, if I'm not mistaken, the sister of the X-Men Colossus, and her power is, of course, magic. And there we see her on the front, facing off against former X-Men and member of Excalibur, Nightcrawler. Very cool. Storm and Ileana. Magic. I think that's her name, right? Ileana? From the X-Men. Another little mini series. That's how they get you, man. Even back in the 80s, that's how they get you, you know? You read X-Men, you're like, oh, cool, yeah. That's enough. Like, I'll read X-Men and then, you know, maybe some Spider-Man or something like that. And you're like, oh, miniseries. Oh, well, I gotta check that out. Yeah, here's another 60 cent of my money. God. All right, well, it doesn't look like a lot of my N's and my O's are in too bad a condition. So we're gonna jump right into the P's. And this was not the first issue of The Punisher I picked up, but if this had been on the newsstand when I was picking up Punisher comics back in the day, it definitely would have been one of the first comics I picked up. Just like something about the Punisher and like these almost like action poster comic book covers, just absolutely fell in love with growing up. But yeah, this board's kind of dingy. It's not, the bag's not too bad actually, but yeah, I know the board and the tape is kind of dirty, and I can just kind of tell it's not as, doesn't have the gloss that it once had. So we're going to go ahead and switch this guy out. But this bag of board definitely needs some work here. In fact, there's like, I think, tape kind of holding the side together, and again, the back flaps are all kind of bent and messed up, and then the actual board itself is just really dingy. But this was more from, well, this is from '88, but this was more the style too of the covers that I saw kind of growing up, where it's just like bullets flying, Punisher in deep trouble. This kind of has like a, looks like he's in high school maybe. Kingpin, Rules, got some lockers going on behind them. Yeah, it's got some school books there in the front. Little pom-pom, definitely holding on to a cheerleader. So it looks like we got some kind of like 21 Jump Street action going on maybe. Punisher undercover in high school. Although I don't know how that would work. I think I would recognize the Punisher if he was a student in high school. It's like 6'7", jacked up Marine, ex-Marine in your class. Yeah, transfer from out of state. Name is Frank. All right, guys. Well, I think I am going to wrap up this episode with the P's. Trying try to remember where I left off for next time. We'll jump back into another comic book box or two and just kind of flip through some comics and see what bags need replacing and talk about some issues while we do. We'll talk about our issues, get all our issues out while we put them in new bags and boards. This is just a lot of fun, walking down memory lane, something cool to do for Throwback Thursday. And if you guys, like the video, comment down below, let me know what you think. If it's something I should do next Thursday, let me know, and I'll put something together like this similar, set up a different maybe environment next time. Like I said, I'm still kind of hopping around, checking out different places to kind of set up, videos for the live action Rob's Arcades. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you had as much fun as I did. And if there's any questions or any suggestions you have about some stuff you'd like to see, do I have any of these comics? If there's some characters or some comics that you didn't see in my A through P's in the Marvel section that you're wondering if I have any of, hit me up in the comments, in the comment section, let me know, and I'll answer those questions for you, and maybe even put together a little video where I can kind of highlight some of those issues or characters that you might have questions about, or just a yearning to see for yourself in some of my videos. So anyway, guys, again, like I said, please hit the like button, share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, share if you are so I can get more, comment down below, and until next time, don't spend your quarter anywhere else, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Later. Oh, I don't think I've read this one either. This is really cool. I think I've read this one. Ghost Rider, Cloak and Dagger. Oh, Marvel Zombies.